and welcome to another episode of I Want to Talk About This Album. And today I'm going to wrap up the Judas Priest catalog. I haven't done every single Judas Priest album, but I did them all through from Rock and Roll, the first album, through Defenders of the Faith. I will not be doing anything past Defenders of the Faith. I thought I had wrapped up Judas Priest a couple of months ago when I did Unleashed in the East. And I realized that I forgot that I had British Steel to do. So that's what I'm going to do today, British Steel. And I have to tell you, I have to give you a little warning. If you're a Judas Priest fan, if you're a real Judas Priest fan, if you're a Judas Priest nerd and you're watching this, I know there are not too many people that watch these videos. Mike Pratt, thank you. But if you're a Judas Priest fan and you're watching this, you might end up being a little bit upset with some words that I'm about to say about British Steel. Overall, but specifically, there's one single song on this record, and you may know what it is. If you're a Priest fan, I'm going to guess you know what it is. That's just an abortion of a song. It's just a horrible, horrible song. Now, keep in mind, I really don't know too much about Judas Priest and their reputation amongst fans, what Judas Priest fans love, what they hate. I know that about Kiss. I know what Kiss fans really like, and Metallica kind of, Iron Maiden, Motorhead, but Judas Priest I'm not really familiar with, but there's one song. I'm going to guess that it's not a song that it's a song that not too many people like, I think is the best way to say it. If you know the album, I'm going to guess you really know what it is, and I'm going to get to it, I guess, right now. Here's the album, by the way. But before I get to the track by track, overall, this album, you know what? I had never heard this album. Yes, I've been a metal fan since 1976, and I think I'm pretty knowledgeable about music. But as I've said before, and I've talked about Judas Priest, I never got into Judas Priest too much. And this album, you know what? It's not going to help, to be honest with you. I know the reputation of this album. It's considered a classic album. I'm not exactly sure why. I do like it overall. There were, when I get to the track by track, you'll see there are a couple of great songs on it. One stinker is not even the right word for it. A couple of other that were so. But I don't think this album, for me, on one listen in 2025, when I'm 55 years old, I don't think this album is deserving of its reputation as a metal classic, up there with other albums of the era. The first Iron Maiden album, this came out in 1980, as did the first Iron Maiden album, and Heaven and Hell came out in 1980, and was it Animal? I always get Animal Magnetism and Love Drive. One was 79, one was 80. Animal Magnetism was 1980. Albums of that era, even Kiss Unmasked, I like way better than British Steel. Great album cover. I do like, and I've always liked the album cover. Something that I really don't like about this album, I talked about it in at least one Judas Priest album. Dave Holland, man, as a drummer, this guy sucks. The drum sound sucks. His style is very, very pedestrian. Ricky Rocket from Poison, I think, would have been an upgrade playing on British Steel, and maybe some of the other Judas Priest records. It's just his playing is so, it has no energy, no intensity. It's very, very simple. And something that I noticed when I listened to British Steel today, I listened to it twice. I took it out for a walk, and then I listened to it and wrote notes about it, because it's the first time I've listened to it in full. I'm obviously familiar with some of the songs. But something that I realized with this album, and maybe I'd have to go back and listen to the other albums with Dave Holland, he really has no drum fills. Like his playing is just pretty much, he does the first section like this, and then the next section kind of the same thing. The next section maybe with a little tiny separation in between the verse and the chorus, something like that. But really no fills to speak of. His sound sucks. There's no power to it. As I said, no energy, no intensity. And when I was listening to it, I thought, well, couldn't you say the same thing about Phil Rudd? Phil Rudd is not, considered to be and I don't really care about technical ability, and I'm not one to judge technical ability. But man, Phil Rudd is a drummer. I think everybody would say, oh man, I love Phil Rudd. Maybe it's just because AC/DC is a more beloved band than Judas Priest. Or, they say the only drum fill you need is Phil Rudd. But, they're both, I guess, very, very simple. I don't know if you call them four on the floor. I hear people saying four on the floor. I don't know if I'm using it correctly. But I think Dave Holland, he brings his drumming brings nothing to this album, nor to other Judas Priest albums. I talked about that with Metal Dave Glessner when I did Screaming for Vengeance. So that's a big strike against this record. And also Judas Priest, they didn't really sound, their records didn't sound very good, which I guess in large part was because of Dave Holland. But they didn't have the power and the intensity of Iron Maiden and Scorpions and their peers like that. And Judas Priest has a reputation as being a real metal band. And I just don't get it with this album. So that's what I think about British Steel. I guess I'm closer overall. I don't know, am I closer to liking it or not liking it? It's okay, I guess, as an album overall. And I will articulate or try to articulate that now as I go through it track by track. So here it is. Now, this version that I have, I guess, is the US version, the track listing. I realized, because when I downloaded this digitally a year ago or something, I guess I downloaded, I don't know if it's the British version, the American version, or the international version. But this one that I have opens with Breaking the Law. Is that the only? And then side 2 starts with, on my version, starts with Living After Midnight. And then you don't have to be old to be wise. The version that I'm a little bit more familiar with from the 2 listens today has You Don't Have to Be Old to Be Wise and then Living After Midnight. And opens with Rapid Fire. This one opens with Breaking the Law. I'm going to do the version that I listened to today, not this one. As I said, just a little bit different track listing. Same songs, just the track listing, the order is slightly different. So I will open this up now. No hype sticker. And let's see, I guess the inside is probably the same as all the other ones. I'd say the Judas Priest, all these versions, had excellent packaging. They all had lyrics and pictures and everything. Very, very nicely done. I assume this is going to be the same. There it is without the glare. There's the back cover with that track listing. And yeah, it appears... Okay, yeah, it's all right. So it's just the album cover repeated inside, and then the lyrics, which that's all I asked for. And it's on nice printed paper. I like it. And let's see what the record looks like. I guess it's just black. Yeah, and oh, it's got the that label and that label. All right. All right, so I can put this down because I'm not going to use this track listing. I will use, as I said, the digital one. When I took my notes, I based it on, some people say based off. That's so stupid. It's based on. It's not based off. I did my notes based on the track listing, whichever version is. So the opening song from this one is Rapid Fire. Now, for some reason, I did know this one. As I said, I've never listened to this album in full. There are a few songs. Obviously, I'm familiar with 2 songs. Very, very familiar with 2 songs. A couple of other ones that were on the... when I talked about Judas Priest originally, when I've gone through all their albums, I never had a Judas Priest album except the Metalworks album. Even though I love Defenders of the Faith, never had it. Never had Screaming for Vengeance. The first and only Judas Priest record I ever got was the Metalworks, which came out in late 90s, I think. And there were a few songs on there from here. I think maybe just one or two that there were two maybe, in addition to the singles that I was familiar with. I don't know how I knew Rapid Fire, but I did know it. Pounding the world with a battering ram. Pounding the world like a battering ram, or with a battering ram. Very cheesy, very cliche, heavy metal lyrics. Kind of the style of the song is kind of cheesy. It's fast. Much better as an opener than my version, which is Breaking the Law, Breaking the Law. This song, it's okay. I'm going to guess it's probably a very highly regarded Judas Priest song by Judas Priest fans, because it does have kind of a classic Judas Priest sound, but a little bit cheesy, as Judas Priest had a tendency to be. I think that's what separates them and Iron Maiden. And there are some bad Iron Maiden songs too, and kind of some cheesy stuff. but not like Judas Priest. Now, something notable for me about Rapid Fire was at the end, the final line of the song is second to none, and Halford just screams and holds that note. That sounds pretty cool, that he's holding that note for that high note for so long. Pretty cool. But that song, Rapid Fire, it's okay. Next is Metal Gods. Now, I had heard this one. This one I'm pretty sure was on Metalworks, and I did know it. I know this is another one that's a big one in the Priest catalog. I swear, until today, I just kind of knew it was Metal Gods. I knew that kind of that chorus, never really paid attention to the lyrics. I stupidly, I guess, and ignorantly assumed that the song was about priests were the metal gods, that the song was kind of like, autobiographical, like Motorhead, We Are Motorhead, Metallica, Whiplash. Who else had kind of songs like that? About the, the metal lifestyle like that. And so when I listened to it today, and I did listen to the lyrics, or I put the lyrics on, I Googled them as I was listening to it, I had no idea, that the lyrics are about robots. And unless there's some hidden meaning, but I don't remember what the lyrics are, but I thought, Jesus Christ, the song is about robots? I thought it was about the heavy metal lifestyle. And I don't know if that changes my perception of the song, and if it does, I don't know if it makes it better or worse. But I was very surprised that today, in January 2025, I learned that Metal Gods by Judas Priest on British Steel was not about Judas Priest being heavy metal gods. Because, everybody calls Halford is the metal god, which I thought they were taking from the song. But it's about robots. And I like that. The song's okay, but I hate that stupid fucking hi-hat that kind of drives the song. I think it never stops at any point. You know what it is, the hi-hat driving the song. I really, really don't like that. But I do like the song and Rob Halford's vocals. I've said before, I don't like a lot of Halford's vocals. That I hate Painkiller. I think that song it's not a bad song, but I just don't like it. I don't like that high pitch that Halford uses. This is the Halford that I like, singing Metal Gods. Next is Breaking the Law, Breaking the Law. God, I've been familiar with this song for I guess I heard this song in 84 maybe for the first time, which is 4 years after it came out, but still a long time ago. My memories of this song are, as maybe with a lot of people, Beavis and Butthead, had I can't remember what the episode was, but they were doing something, and I think one of them got their finger cut off, and they were singing "Breaking the Law, Breaking the Law," and that song I think kind of maybe got a reputation because of Beavis and Butthead, and I loved it at the time. When I listened to it today, I didn't enjoy it nearly as much as I remember. Now, I'm not saying, maybe for some people they would say the same thing, and you could be the same about Crazy Train and Rock and Roll All Night and Enter Sandman and these songs, and you think, well, you get sick of it. It's not that I'm sick of Breaking the Law, because I haven't heard it that much. It's not like I've heard it like those other ones I've mentioned. It is a staple, but it's not a staple like those other ones. So I can't say that I got sick of it, but maybe just over the years, I don't know, this just doesn't hit me the way that it used to. I don't mind it, it's okay. But the chorus is a little bit cheesy. This is one of the few Judas Priest songs that I know the lyrics to. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here I go for the first time. There I was, completely wasted, out of work and down. Maybe I don't know the lyrics. Feeling as though nobody cares if I live or die, so I might as well begin to get some action in my life. Breaking the law, breaking the law. I do know the lyrics, I promise. I just can't remember them now. It's a pretty good song. It's just maybe a little bit more simple, a little bit more repetitive than I remembered, but I do like Breaking the Law, Breaking the Law. Next is Grinder. I love this song, man. This song is great. I remember my introduction to this song, Pantera. You know this band Pantera, right? They played in Toronto in sometime in 1990. I want to say it was spring 1990, but I could be wrong. Maybe it was 91. And they were playing at a club called Rock and Roll Heaven, which is maybe my favorite music venue ever. Man, I love Rock and Roll Heaven. And they were playing there. And Judas Priest was rehearsing in Toronto for whatever tour they were about to embark on. I don't know if it was Painkiller. Ram It Down, Painkiller? I'm not sure. I guess Painkiller. And Rob Halford came up and did Grinder with Pantera, and I think he did Metal Gods too. But I remember Much Music, which I shouldn't have to tell you this, you probably know, was basically the Canadian music video channel like Much Music. And they showed a clip of, they used to have the Pepsi Power Hour and the Power 30 and whatever, these metal video shows, and they showed a clip of Halford singing Grinder with Pantera. And I love that song. That's for me. That's a great. Maybe that's probably my favorite on British Steel. Grinder is an excellent song. Yeah, nothing else to say about that. But I really like Grinder a lot. This next one is called Untied. This is the one that I mentioned that is just fucking garbage. Shit. This ranks somewhere between shit and fucking shit. It's somewhere in that range. Just a horrible abomination of a song. I hate everything about this song. And, trying to be objective, there are a lot of songs that I think this song sucks, or this song sucks. But I could see the appeal that other people would like it. I don't want to, have the attitude of, well, I don't like it, so nobody should like it. Or, I love it, so everybody should love it. I try to be realistic about that. And this song, Untied, I think, how can anybody like this song? You gotta tell me, if you're a Judas Priest fan or if you know this song sucks, right? It fucking sucks. To the point now, when I was listening to it an hour ago outside on my balcony, I texted my good friend Kevin Montalvan, who I've mentioned numerous times on this channel, referenced him, and I defer to him for all things music. This guy knows way more about music than I ever will. I value his opinion more than or as much as anybody. And if you can, I said, here was my message to him as I was listening to it. If you can read, I said, I just heard Untied by Judas Priest. I don't know if the camera, I don't know if it's out of focus, if I'm too close, by Judas Priest for the first time. I said, holy fuck. This is Peter Criss, 1978 solo album level shit. And his reply was, yes, really unlistenable song. So, yeah, and I said, fucking Christ, I was shocked at how awful it was. So I believe if Kevin was so quick to say, yeah, it's unlistenable, then everybody else thinks the same thing. Please tell me, I dare you to tell me that I'm wrong. It's impossible. At best, somebody could say it's not as bad as you think. But I don't think anybody could say, I love that song. It's impossible. That song is fucking, it's trash, it's shit, it's garbage, it's all the bad words you could say, any negative word you could say, apply them to Untied by Judas Priest. Everything about that song sucks. I think especially, oh my God, I forgot to mention how bad the drums were. I don't need the notes to talk about this piece of fucking shit. I'm actually getting worked up now. I like talk, usually I talk about albums that I really like or songs, but I feel excited to say shit about something. The drums are fucking terrible. The drums, as I said, are questionable on this album at best, but the drums on this song just sound complete garbage. They sound, and they had that same kind of sound on Heavy Duty. We are defender. Heavy Duty defends the faith. Although for me, I don't know why that was more acceptable, but here they just sound like just weak. It sounds almost like a drum machine. It's such a big, stupid anthem, this song, Untied. I hate everything about this song. It's amazing. To me, that really brings the overall tone of the album down. So I love this album, but this song is not the best. For me, it's you know what? If this song was not on the album, I would like it a lot more. It's that bad that it really, and maybe it shouldn't, affects my overall judgment of British Steel. And I think that's all I have to say about Untied. Awful, horrendous, atrocious song. Vomit. It's vomitorious. Is that a word, or did I create that? It's I can't say enough bad things about it. Yeah, Peter Criss level shit is what I said to Kevin. It's just a really bad anthem. Now there is another anthem that I love, which I will get to shortly, but it's not this horrible anthem called Untied. So next is You Don't Have to Be Old to Be Wise. My God, that's a long time. That's like a novel. You don't have to be old to be wise. I like this song. I thought it was pretty good, but it might have been just that my palate was being cleansed after I listened to the fucking shit that was Untied. So maybe Peter Criss. Maybe I should have gone back and listened to the Peter Criss album. I should have stopped British Steel after Untied and listened to Peter Criss. Maybe I would have had new appreciation for that 1978 solo album. The worst album ever in the history of recorded music. But yeah, You Don't Have to Be Old to Be Wise. That's a great song title. I've heard that song title for years. Never heard the song until today. Yeah, it's pretty good, but I might be biased after the garbage that came before it. Next is Living After Midnight. Man, I love this song. You may, I'm sure a lot of you are really, really cool, and you're too cool to like the song, and you're tired of it, you're sick of it. I don't think at any point I ever got tired of Living After Midnight. Even when I listened to it today on my walk, like that really, really energized me. I was singing along to it. That is, I would even say, one of the great rock anthems. At least the kind of ones that are, I'm not talking about Rock and Roll All Night, the ones that everybody knows, but the kind of next level ones that metal fans really know. The first one that comes to mind for me is always You Can't Stop Rock and Roll by Twisted Sister. Living After Midnight is right up there. I think it's a great, great rock anthem. And I saw Warrant in Toronto, at the Contra in Toronto in must have been 89, I think it was late 89, October 89. And they did it. They covered Living After Midnight, and the crowd went crazy, and people were headbanging. It's a real metal song. You know, Warrant is, and I love Warrant. Those first albums were a classic. You know, they're not a headbanging band, but they were headbanging. The crowd was headbanging. The crowd loved Living After Midnight. I loved Living After Midnight. The Warrant cover version live and the Judas Priest version on British Steel. Love it. Can't get enough of Living After Midnight. Next is The Rage. I think this was another one that was on Metalworks. I don't know. I feel like it was. I'm familiar with the song title. I have no memory of it beyond the title of the music. The notes that I wrote about it here, it's got, I guess, a bass intro. It's pretty rare to hear Judas Priest bass, either within the song or isolated as an intro or something. I thought it sounded kind of clunky. It didn't really sound like a Judas Priest bass like you would expect to hear on a Judas Priest album. Kind of unspectacular, that bass intro. It's got that middle section that's kind of quiet and funky. Very un-Judas Priest album song in general. It's okay. I'm closer probably towards disliking it than liking it, but it's not too bad. And the last song is Steeler. This one I had never heard before, and I don't know if the band Steeler, which is Ron Keel and Yngwie Malmsteen, I don't know if they took the name of the band after Steeler, the Judas Priest song, or the Pittsburgh Steelers. But as far as I can remember, this is the first time I heard it today, the 2 times I listened to it. I thought it had a great opening riff. That opening riff is really great, heavy metal Judas Priest. It's up-tempo. This is a great song. Of all the songs I hadn't heard before, Steeler is I think, by far the best one. This is how I want Judas Priest to be. When I think of Judas Priest as the metal gods calling back to that song, and you know, the classic 80s or, you know, whatever, late 70s, 1980 this was, heavy metal. This is what I expect. Steeler, excellent song. So, I don't know, I never do a recap, but so, I mean, yeah, Living After Midnight, great. Grinder, great. Steeler, great. Metal Gods, yeah, pretty good, except for that stupid hi-hat. Yeah, so overall, I do like this album. Not nearly as much, I think, as most people. But man, Untied really, really brings it down. And that is all. And I never know how to end these videos. I just don't know what to say, and I always hold it up, and I guess I'll do the same thing again. This is, it's going to be the last time I talk about Judas Priest, as I said. And it's their, I guess most people would consider their signature, their classic album. I do not. Please tell me that I'm wrong. And I talked about this with Metal Dave. I wanted Metal Dave on to tell me why I was wrong about Screaming for Vengeance. Maybe I should have had somebody else to try to convince me, or Metal Dave again, to how great British Steel was. because I just don't get it too much. But there it is. Thank you. And this was Judas Priest, British Steel.